Hello folks, it's me Paddy from across the shock. Just another video for you this morning. A quick one. This is not what the video is about. This is just me showing off a wee present I got brought back from Afghanistan by the son. It's the ICAF. It's the Afghanistan Zippo that they had out in Camp Bastion. I think he got it. So that just wanted to show that off, because what we're talking about is that beautiful little knife that you see underneath it, which is the, as you all know, the Spyderco ladybug. And I was going to lump this into a category of just small knives, but to be honest with you, I think it's such a spectacular knife it deserves a wee video all of its own. It's made of VG10. Its length is about just under 4.5 inches, which is about 11 centimeters. Not 11 centimeters. Yeah, it is 11. Yes, 11. I'm not very good with this centimeter stuff. Yes, it's about 11 centimeters, 4.5 inches. A blade length of about 1 3/4, which is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 centimeters. You see that there way I was able to count? There's not many Irishmen can do that, you know. Now I'll bring my wee scales in and we'll give her a quick weigh-in to see what weight she is. Now, there we go, and on she goes. She is 17.5 grams, or 61 ounces. 6 ounces, sorry. I'm so bad. One day I'll become a reviewer. Yes, it's just over 6 ounces, which is absolutely nothing, as I'm sure you're aware. I'll do a wee blade length. I do want to do this because I feel it's important, just for if anybody hasn't seen one, you don't realise just how small they are. The blade thickness at the top here is, I'm only going to do it 1.7 in millimeters, and it is 7.7 millimeters across. So it's not even a centimeter across at the top. It is a small yet beautifully formed knife. Now, why did I buy this knife? I bought this knife, just me personally, to have something when I come home at night. I could change into my tracksuit bottoms, heaven forbid a pair of shorts, which is quite scary. But I got it just, I love having a knife about me, be able to open something. A dander in the kitchen, I need to open a packet of biscuits, or I can just slice the plastic and that's it. This knife's perfect for that. It's perfect for all the little chores you do around the house. Even cutting up small cereal boxes and things like that. I wouldn't go into a big cardboard box, but just small cereal boxes. Anything that's out there at all, tablet boxes, cut them up, throw them in the bin. I find reasons to use this knife. It's so sharp. As I said, it's VG10. It's the most beautiful. I love VG10, but I think on this knife especially, it just makes it so easy to sharpen. I strop it really. I think I've sharpened this once. I've had this about 6 months and I've sharpened it once, and I just strop it and it brings it back. The VG10 seems to come back really well. It's got the FRN handle scales, just as it has in the bigger knives. Absolutely lovely. Grip great. To be honest, I mean, I get about 3 fingers on, just get 3 fingers on, and then my thumb, and I clamp down. To be honest with you, that's not moving. When I first got it, I had tied a lanyard on it, and I think you've maybe seen it in videos, but I took it off. To be honest, I didn't need it. I can actually open and close this little knife without lanyards on it. It's just getting muscle memory, you know, to open things. But to me, I mean, it's just a beautiful knife that deserves its own part. I think Sal Glesser himself says that, who's the founder of Spyderco, that it was his most carried knife. I would say I've probably carried this more than any other knife in my box, because I change them daily, whereas this I use nearly daily, every day that I get into my tracky bottoms, or I'm out foot, or I'm in the bedroom, I'm in my box, I'm just anything. I use it for anything. Secondly, to be honest, I don't take this out. This is a house knife for me. It goes in my box, and I'm quite protective over this. I don't even let my grandchildren play with this. I let them play with most of my knives, but this wee one, because it looks so inoffensive, yet it's so sharp and it's so effective. I think giving that sort of knife to a small child, it gives them a false illusion that this isn't a real knife. It's only a wee small one, and it'll bite you. It has bitten me, I don't know, many times. It's quite a firm detent on it. If you can hear, there's quite a firm detent when it gets down. It locks solid. There is no blade movement whatsoever, and the back lock is one of the locks I like anyway. I'll put it that way just for another view of it. So what more can you say about it? Not a lot, other than the fact that there's a man bug which sort of Salglesser brought out because men didn't want to buy a ladybug, which I think is quite strange anyway. It's just a name. The fact that it's purple, if it was bright pink, it wouldn't bother me that much either, to be quite honest. But there's a man bug in black, which has got a bit of a thicker handle. The blade's no different. But over here in the UK, I don't know what it's like in America. Over here in the UK, it's about £20 difference in price. And to be honest, I don't see the value. I don't see where the £20 would come from a bit of extra FRN. So another one of those catches, if you want a man bug, you're going to pay 20 quid for it. You're not going to get a lot more, but you'll pay for it. But that is my little Spyderco gem. I absolutely love it and use it more than any other knife in my collection. Now, I'm going to move on a bit from there because I just want to let you know what's coming up. To be honest, I'm getting more used to... I'll put this up at the top here, actually. I have quite a lot of knives that are 3.5-inch knives, 3 to 3.5-inch blades that I use for going out and for heavy work. But I hadn't got many small knives until this last sort of month or so, and I've started to try and buy smaller knives because I can take my big knife with me, but it's this sheeple friendly. Over here in the UK, the laws are rubbish, so you're not allowed locking knives. It has to be under 3 inches. Yeah, of course, I have to say I'm a law-abiding citizen, but I do take all my knives out with me. But what I've got to start doing is stop bringing the bigger ones out when I'm in company. So I'm trying to build up a selection of smaller ones that I can throw in my pocket that will be sheeple friendly, that will not scare people away, and I can have my big one there, whether for just security or for to cut bigger things when I'm walking through forest. I love walking through a forest or trees, and just cutting bits off to whittle. So what I've got, I'm starting to get a little bit of a collection. So over the next couple of weeks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to club them together because they're not. This one is a special knife to me. It really is special. These are just cheaper knives, and I'll move this out of the way so that it's not in their company. This one I only just got yesterday, which is a San Remo, and it's a San Remo 7063. 8 CR 14 MOV. Seems like a lovely little knife. It's an aluminium frame knife, full liners that are skeletonized, lovely deep carry pocket clip, and the blade came razor sharp. It's I'm not going to go through the full specs, but unfolded, it's just over 6 inches. So that's the sort of knife that I want to take out with me. The handle length itself is just about 3.5 inches. So small, I can bring it out. It's not going to scare people. Yes, there is a lock on it. There's an axis lock, would you believe, on this, which is amazing. It is so free, and I can do it with one hand. It's so free. Great axis lock. So that's one. This is another one I have, and I just got this reading. This is the Bird Turn. This is, and there's no point in me trying to. This is a Chinese knockoff. This one cost me, a Bird Turn over here cost me over £30. This cost me £10, and I'm sure it is made in the same factory because it is absolutely perfect. It's got the half stop, the full stop, and they are solid, absolutely solid lockup. Again, the hand length just over 3.5 inches. Great little knife, great cutter, sharp. 8CR13MOV. Great car, I don't mind it. I love sharpening, so it doesn't, the blade, the blade standard doesn't really matter as long as I can sharpen it. And this is another little San Remo. This is a 7023, which is all stainless steel. I think this is a copy of a Buck, I believe. I'm not really up on my knives, so I don't know. Again, the handle is maybe a wee bit longer. No, it's just over 3.5 inches, so they're all about the same size. And it gives me a change that each day I can put a different knife in. So I'm going to give these a workout. I'm going to carry these with my bigger knives. A lot of the time I'll take my Swiss Army knife out, so I'm going to replace it a few days with these just to see what it's like carrying, so that if I'm outside I can bring it out, not scare people, and nobody's going to question it too much. Nobody will really question this one. The turn doesn't have a lock, but the other two do, but they're so small I don't think it'll bother anybody. I'll soon find out. So I'll do a collection. I'll do a video on them three after a couple of months that I've carried them, because I probably won't do it every day. I love having my Swiss Army knife with me. But there we go. So we'll bring the star of the show back in again, and they can go around the side. My thoughts on this wee knife: if you haven't got one, if you haven't tried one, try one. Get one. You will not regret it. We all live in tracksuits now in the house. Well, most people come home, get into baggies or tracksuit or shorts or whatever. The summer's coming here. This is so light, you can throw it in, and yet it can do every task any one of these can do around the house. And you don't have to carry any weight whatsoever. Put a lanyard on if it makes you feel a bit better. I find that I don't need it. It locks in my hand. It's just God, I can't say the word. It's very comfortable in hand. It's designed well, as usual, by Spyderco. Their ergonomics, I couldn't get that word out. The ergonomics are great on it. So it's very good in hand. I think I would recommend this to anybody. If any sort of knife collection that you've got. Over here, it's quite, I don't know what it is in America. Over here, this cost me about £35, which is $40. So, you know, it's quite dear for what it is, but you'll not regret it. I don't regret one penny off it. I love it. As for the other three, we'll have a wee video later on with them, how I feel about carrying them, how effective they were, did it scare people, have I been arrested? So we'll have that in a couple of weeks' time. But thank you very much again for listening, folks. Take care, all the very best to you. And as I say here before I go, the top of the morning till you. Night night, bye.